Love you guys. No, but one thing I don't know exactly. I wish I have this. I don't know if you have this, and I'm sure there's like reasons, but just to feel like the camera's not on. Like you turn the camera on and you do seem to talk about a little bit different or act a little different. I don't know what I want to break through that, but obviously sometimes you got to keep some stuff between people, right? But do you feel that at all?
Say it again.
Just like when the camera turns on, like you have to talk or perform a certain way and just be different than if the camera was off and we're just sitting here talking.
Yeah, a little bit. I think that I'm that way with just in general. Like if I'm first meeting you, I won't say a whole lot, and I'm really just kind of observing a lot. And so I think there's I don't know the
Yeah,
science behind it, but
something there. I just wish. What do you think, Andrew? Camera on, camera off. There's a natural. Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like when you get up on stage, give a speech.
Right.
Something like that. Like, you gotta be more put together.
It's
not bad.
Yeah. I loved. Did you hear the podcast clip where you jumped in and talked about, dude? That was great. You went back and pulled that, and then it's just like, man, that's some real wisdom right there. But yeah, thank you guys for joining today. This is the Real Estate Podcast. Alex and Matt and Andrew. Try to get Andrew involved when we can. And we're excited to be here. We're plugging away. We're doing everything we can. We have an event tomorrow at the TRE office. Everybody's welcome, 6 o'clock. We had an event yesterday, 3 to 5, the last Wednesday of every month. Andrew, you should come to those things. Have fun.
all right.
We
Just don't go home. Come here to my office.
Okay.
Yeah.
we had some margaritas. We had some Torchy's tacos. And probably like 8 or 9 of our agents came out. Jeff Peterson showed up with his car. I told him to come show it off. And then another guy was pulling up, and he had one of those new Corvettes that look like Ferraris, baby blue. He's an electrician, and people are like driving by like, come on over, come hang out. Like, we got way more food and drinks than we need. And we're sitting there. I like those guys a lot, the lenders. And we're like, how do we grow this and get other bar owners and restaurant owners downtown Round Rock and turn this into a deal where it's like every Wednesday, it's kind of open house. Like, everyone come hang out and network, talk real estate, hang out. And that could be, we're all growth minded, right? Like, big countries there. And we're like brainstorming, like, let's do this. Let's get some cars involved, start doing some barbecuing, get Andrew and the drones out here. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and my mom was there for a little bit. But they're great. We have these lenders that we work with, and they're very system and process driven on how they build their business. And I really think that there's a lot that we could learn from each other. But I'm working on this new thing, man. It's in the room, in the deal, and I've just been really trying to pour that into people the best I can with our agents. And like I had somebody call me, and I was like, Samantha, take this. She jumps on the phone at the event. And Darius, I closed a new agent, and I was like, Darius, someone put them on your downline. And maybe a little selfishly, in a sense, like, if you can show people what's possible, help them a little bit, then maybe they'll start doing that more. But it's been really fun to just kind of pass stuff out. So I'm kind of thinking about that a lot lately, of like, just give it all out, man. Give it all out, support, build, find the right people and get them aligned. And one other thing that's cool, I don't know if Amanda Shamsi's listening, but she's considering starting her own team. And she's kind of like, this is a big step. I'm a little bit nervous about this. And what I feel like, I told Andrew about this morning, is that, like, I don't think she's really nervous. Like, she's a go-getter, and she's really strong. And I think sometimes people they want to reaffirm that somebody's there to help them. It's like, Amanda, you're not scared. You just want to know that, like, we got your back. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, we got you. You could do this. And I'm excited for her because met with her 2 years ago or a year and a half ago at the coffee shop, and she's nervous about how leads are going to come in and like really scared. And then 6 months later, she slammed. And I was like, remember when that happened? Remember when you were feeling that way? Like, now here you're at, I told you. And same thing with the team. Like, this, you're just where you were in a different spot a year ago. And a year from now, you're going to have a great team. And it's really encouraging to see that play out.
Yeah.
So, anyways, today we're going to talk about the roadmap, guys. We've been working on this for a while. If you guys have any comments or questions or opinions, let us know, whatever you can, and we will dive into it. But we're working on the roadmap just to give you a high-level view of what it is. It's the path to financial freedom, which we believe is a step-by-step guide through learning real estate as far as making money in and on real estate. Everything from starting out to leasing properties, to managing properties, to flipping, to owning, to calling off-market owners. We are recording a step-by-step guide, ABCD, EFG on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 16 or something. And you want to give a little intro on where we're at, and then we'll just jump right in?
Right now, I believe last time we finished up on flipping. Huh?
Properties.
Sweet. I like this one better. Yeah, I think last time we finished up on
I want that one.
on flipping properties, and today we're on raising capital.
Raising capital, baby. For me, it started, I'll give like my background on it, and then we can talk about the steps in here. But actually, I was with this guy named Dave Thompson, who was working at Dell. He worked there for like 15 years, and I met him 7, 8 years ago, and he was just getting started. And he was raising capital for like one deal. It was with Ashcroft, with Joe Fairless. And the whole concept was, hey, help us raise capital, and you will get a certain percentage of the deal. Like you'll get, I think I raised like $500,000, and I got a $25,000 fee, and then I got $25,000 in equity in the deal. And actually, the deal sold 2 weeks ago, and they sent us an email and they said the deal sold. You can elect to 1031 or cash out. And I just 1031 into the next deal and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was so intrigued about was, as I knew, to build the real estate business, you got to be able to get capital together. And I was thinking, I can go learn this process, get some equity, get paid, but also establish a rapport with people that I can bring successful deals to them. And I helped analyze the deal. I actually drove to Dallas and toured it with Joe Fairless and all the guys. And I think I had like 8 or 9 investors, and they all were putting in 50 to 100K. And I was like, man, if I can help them raise capital and have a good job, then they'll tell their friends about it, and then they'll put that same capital in my deals moving forward. And I was excited about that whole process. What was really cool, one, the deal was a success, but 2, I saw what Dave did, and he literally made that his job. So it wasn't like tied to Ashcroft. It became, I'm going to raise capital for any syndication.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to find the right people, and they're going to come to him, and whatever I was getting paid on that, he was getting paid double that to raise capital.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started a whole business, and it's really successful now. And he's got like, I was the first one, and then he started implementing new people, and he got like 15 or who knows by now 30 people that go and raise capital with him.
Mm-hmm.
So they become capital raisers, that they get equity and money on the deals, and then he gets about double that, right? And then he probably raises his own capital. But he's created a platform where if you need financing, like you need 10 million, 20 million, I don't know where he's at now. Like capital is tough because you kind of tap out, or like times like right now, like maybe nobody's investing, or maybe people are investing more because they're ready for the market to crash. But I just saw the value of capital raising, and I did it 2 times, San Antonio and then Dallas. And I think it's a really good skill set. And what I believe is, if you don't have the ability to raise capital and you're in real estate, you're missing it big time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that, to me, maybe there's another way to view this. I love people's opinions, your opinions, but to me, it shows that you don't have any good connections, or people don't trust you that you are the real deal and that you have opportunities. There could be more to it, but you got to have those two things for sure.
Right.
You have to be able to raise capital.
This deal you said you raised 500 and got basically 10%, 5% in the deal and 5% fee.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was. Yeah. And I told them, I was like, I think I could raise $1 million. And dude, it was hard to raise 500.
Yeah, I remember when you were doing it. That was for San Antonio.
San Antonio and then Louisville. So 2 different projects. And I actually invested as well. Like I put maybe 20, 25. I got Lexi's grandpa to put like 150 in each. And he did well with it, which was really cool.
What was the return on the sale yesterday?
It was 2.21.
Nice.
I don't know. I can't remember how many years that was, but that was what it was.
It was since like I think you were doing that in 2007, probably
Yeah.
17, early 18.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was pretty sweet. And there's like 4 or 5 people that I know that are running these big syndications, and I'd be really interested to see what's happening right now, because I think these guys that I know of I think they're the real deal, and they ran their numbers and analysis correct, but the market's shifting fast, and people were projecting. There were some people that were brand new, and they were projecting like every year just growth. Like rents are going to grow like for the next 10 years, 3% per year, no matter what. And I don't know what's going on with that right now, but if that didn't happen, it could be bad.
Right.
Not necessarily like they're going to go into foreclosure, but maybe.
Well, just basing the deal off of unknowns.
Yeah, and also if they had like interest only loans and they had a refi, and now the refi is at 6% instead of 4 or 3.25%, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
I met with Andrew Brewer. I met with him and a banker yesterday. It was really cool. I loved hearing it. But Andrew's like on it, dude. Like every step of the process. And we were talking. The bankers love his deal because he's projecting to put houses out here in Georgetown, and like he's not going to build houses for 3 years. And the prices at which he's projecting he sells these houses for are like 10% lower than what they're selling for right now. And he's saying that's what they're going to sell for 3 years from now. And the banker believes that that's super conservative. And even though the market's doing what it's doing, they're going to be selling for a lot more in 3 years. And so he's like, we love this deal. And his chief credit officer knows the site. He said he drove by the site for 10 years. And he's like, that's a good site. And he's like, usually our credit officer is on the opposite of this. So like the fact that he's on board is a really good thing. So I go in and I get my financials and everything, and they show that I have a past due line of credit for $600K. And he's like, can I speak freely with you guys? I'm like, yeah, just go ahead. He's like, your credit score is 600. And I was like, oh, like I wasn't too worried about it because it's not past due. But then I call my bank and they dropped the ball. Like I got it renewed, but they didn't mark it. And so now it's going to jump up to wherever it's going to be. But that was an interesting learning point.
Yeah. So he's basically saying, great deal, but this guy you brought in here, who is this guy?
I was like, 600 is not too bad. Right? But if that's what my credit score is with 600,000 past due, then hopefully it'd be a lot better with that, current. And the bank's trying to not take blame for it. They're like, oh, it's just not updated. I'm like, yeah, but did you say that it was not paid off in time? Like, obviously, right? And then, they're trying to kind of, I'm really nice about it. I'm like, I'm not mad. Let's just fix it. They're like trying to act like this isn't normal, right? For me, like this is not a normal thing. They're trying to act like, oh, it's going to update in a week. I'm like, yeah, but what did you do to screw this up?
Right. Did y'all sign documents and everything on the renewal?
Yeah, like 2 months ago. So, anyways, let's jump into raising capital. You take the floor a little bit if you want, and then I'll kind of jump in. But hopefully you guys heard that. Like, raising capital is an extremely important part of the business. You've got to be able to do it to be able to get scale and to grow in real estate.
I think you go ahead. I don't have a ton of experience, and really my only experience is with the fund. However, I'm not really the one out there building relationships and raising capital, but I can.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe talk what you know about that and your experience and your thoughts on it, and then I'll go through the bullet points. But I'm glad you said that about our fund because you got a good amount of experience. There's like just what you've seen, and how you perceive it, and your thoughts on it in general.
I was talking to Abe about this yesterday, and just my thoughts in general on it are that you and I have always bought really, really good deals, and
We got that one that was average once.
yeah, and I didn't, still don't like it that much, but that is normal though for other people, and that's what I realized.
It's hard to teach that. I've been working on that because I've been trying to encourage our agents to bring deals, and they keep bringing things that I'm like, maybe I just need to teach you a little more. Like, why are we looking at this?
Right.
It's like, I got this condo and this guy's going to sell it for $229,000.
It's
I'm
like
what's it going to rent
$2,000
for?
below list price.
Yeah. I'm like, what? I mean, that's on me, honestly. Like, I have to show them, why is this better than click right here.
Well,
why is it better than this one?
Yeah. Well, the hard thing is that it's not everybody wants an exact equation, right?
Yeah.
But there's so many factors at play that could or do make it a good deal, right? Like, obviously buying far below value makes it a good deal. However, there's also a ton of other factors that play into it. And so it's like this living, breathing thing, and the equation adjusts depending on the circumstances. And so that's the hard part, is it's hard to teach without having the exact equation, because that's what people want, is like, okay, if I just take this and I can get it at exactly this percentage, and it's a good deal. And that is true to an extent. However, there's other factors in play too.
Yeah.
And it's not exact every time.
Living, breathing. I like that, dude. And we're definitely different and unique in this, in the sense that, like, we don't talk about cap rates. Like, it's not, and like most people do.
I do when I'm talking to sellers.
Well, yeah, when you use it to your advantage, for sure.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, that's not how we buy our deals. And it's a living, breathing thing. Like,
well, it's one aspect of the
like,
equation.
what else would somebody pay for this? Okay, that's a good factor. Like, don't bring a deal and, like, you don't have anyone that's interested in it. Like, you got to know that you found value, right? And I had an agent yesterday. Is like, we could buy this thing for $250, and I was like, well, what would it sell for on the MLS? They're like $220. I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, well, there's value to be added.
It's off market.
You can blow off some walls and you can make it worth $350. I'm like, well, if someone's gonna pay $220, I want to be at $150.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I've realized, is that the majority of and it's not 100% true. Like, we've had some very seasoned investors, people who buy deals like we do, invest in the fund with us. And so it's not necessarily just that most people who are investing don't see these types of deals, because some of them do, and some of them do buy deals the way that we do. But what I did realize is that
I don't know if they do.
They do, to an extent.
We do it in a really unique. The more I think about it,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
but
we push it to the limits
for sure.
Like,
but
we just dropped the price $5,000 yesterday on a deal that I'm glad you did it, because I wasn't thinking to do that. But, like, that's a big deal, right? On what was it, 220?
Right.
The property we're buying, right? We dropped it $5,000 from 225 or what was it, 325?
450.
Who gives it? I'm just saying the numbers,
Yeah.
the percentage, 2%.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Well, it's gonna getting the credit towards closing costs is gonna help.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's to sum up what I'm trying to say is I realize that most people don't see or buy the types of deals that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And like with the fund, talking about an 8% return or preferred return. Like if we bought deals and only got an 8% return, I'd be super dissatisfied. And I probably wouldn't want to invest in real estate if that's what we were getting. But we're used to putting, $100K into a deal on, down payment, closing costs, and instantly have $200K in equity, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as we buy it, or flips, putting 20, 30K in to certain properties and making back 100, 120.
Yeah. I got that from my mom now that I realize it.
What?
Just like she was an aggressive buyer. And I was trying to represent her, and like I was trying to get her to do deals, and it's like listed at 2, and she's like, offer him 1. I'm like, Mom, let's offer him 150. Like, what are you talking about? And it works.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's I guess you just have to see it work.
Right. Well, there's you can go buy a lot of real estate. There's, 4,000 listings on however many on Able right now. You can go buy any of them you want to, right? Mm-hmm. So the goal is not to
buy.
Yeah, the goal is not to buy real estate. The goal is to buy really, really good deals. And so, telling our agents or other people about making offers. And I went through this when you were teaching me how to do this. But start making a bunch of low offers, and they come back and they're like, say it's listed for 300, we offer 150. They come back, they're like, we'll come down to 275 or whatever, something. You get excited when you're first doing this, like, whoa, we got them to come down.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool. Well, let's get them down to 180 and we'll buy from there. And like most of the time it never happens, but
you move on.
You don't, it's not interesting until we get a good deal. Right. And a lot of people want to put a tremendous amount of analysis into this low offers concept. And that's not the point. You put the analysis in once you've gotten back, some motivation or some signs that you can get a good deal, with this property.
We gotta figure it out. And maybe partially sometimes it's not people's own money. So they're kind of like trying to get you to do a deal to do it versus like them trying to get the best that they possibly can. When with you, I wonder, obviously, like, I think I was teaching you for sure, but you were also like eager to learn, and you never were like, we should do this deal, Matt. You know what I mean? Like if we offered 200 and it was at 300 and they countered at 250, you weren't like, let's do it. You're just like literally just following what I was doing. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd say,
but like a lot of people don't do that. They're like wanting to do it at 250.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, like, it was obviously pretty inherent, but you were also more just open to just really learning versus just trying to do something. Like, I don't ever remember you being like, we need to do this. You're just like, all right, what are we doing next?
Well,
I'm talking to a lot of people that are doing this a lot often. Mm-hmm. They're not getting the feedback that I got with you. And I put that on myself to figure out how to make it better.
I don't know. You, most of the learning and everything came from actually doing the deals, right? Like you and I would, you were more of a experiential teacher. Mm-hmm. Like if we never like sat down and like,
yeah, we
did. You were like, hey, here's how you write a contract. Now go make a bunch of offers. And that's what we did.
Right.
And then once we would find one, mm-hmm. the real learning happens when we're both like, hey, this is a really good deal. And then we go through the process to buy it. Mm-hmm. And then you learn, along that entire process. But there was no I also did a lot of,
on your own.
yeah, I didn't really, it wasn't completely green in the sense of understanding real estate or how to find deals or this or that. But actually doing a deal is different. You can read and listen to anything you want to, but until you put your money up and start going through the process of actually buying a deal, you really don't know what you're doing. And so that's you could have lined out everything for me anyways, but until we actually went through the process of buying something, I would have never fully understood it. Because again, it's another living, breathing thing. It doesn't follow this exact,
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. Maybe we have to just teach people together instead of me just trying to do it, or you trying to do it. I don't know. Because you can implement like what you were doing at the same time. Of like, hey, what are you studying on your own to learn? Like, do you know what a mortgage calculator is? Do you know how to pull dude? So many people don't even know like what's possible in the appraisal district. And that's a big thing. When that opens up, you're like, oh, it's all possible. Like I can find out who owns every property and where they live and how long they've owned it. Like if you don't know that, like you're missing out on a huge component of the business.
Yeah. And that's why it's step number one and or step number two in the roadmap is education, right? You should always be learning. But I personally, I'm a big believer in, and this is just the way that I learn anyways, is I really don't learn. I can learn from other people, and I absolutely listen to people who have experience doing something and take in what they say and implement what they say. But for me to really fully internalize it and learn it, and like I just have to go through it and do it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
we got a question. All right. What metrics do you look for? Well, the way I explain it simply is the living, breathing component is real. And so understanding that in the market's key. And we don't get too into the metrics, right? We don't look at IRR, cap rate. This is me. I determine what do I think somebody else would pay for this conservatively. And I'm 30, 40, 50% below that number. That's my number one thing. Am I buying this cheaper than 99% of people? Second is, how do I cash flow or keep it for the long run? And this is specifically in Austin, Texas. If we were in another market, we'd approach things differently, I'm sure. But it's really that simple. It's like, am I getting a great deal on the buy, which I can turn around tomorrow and make 50% on my capital? Okay, that's number one. Second thing is, what's the strategy to keep this property? That's really that simple as I can possibly make it. And obviously you understand what's the 1% rule? Like, is the rent 1% of the price? If it's apartments, is the rent on the unit 1% of the unit price? I had a guy yesterday on our team. He was kind of upset that I didn't buy his property that he owns. And I was like, dude, you don't want me to buy your property. I'm the type of person that like I want to take full advantage of the deal and get the best. I want to help you sell it for top price, not buy it from you, because I'm going to beat you up on everything I possibly can. And I don't want to do that to you. And I think it clicked with him because he was thinking I wasn't trying to help him. I'm like, dude, I'm the guy that wants to buy it when everyone else is not seeing it or they passed on it because they moved on to other deals. And then you come to me, and then I gotta get a great price, because that's how we make our money, is on the buy. So that's just, I don't know if you analyze it different, but that's as simple as I can put it.
Yeah.
Just buying significantly lower than what you would sell it for day one. Like day one, we bought New Braunfels, 515,000. It's like, I think we could sell this for 700 day one. So we just invested 100K, and if we sold it tomorrow, we'd make 200K. So we had a great deal. Okay, awesome. Now, how do we make this thing work and hang on to it for the next 40 years and give it to our kids? That's how I look at it. I just never found a lot of value in like, hey, Alex, is it above a 14% IRR? What's the cash on cash? and I get it. I think that's important in a lot of ways. It's just not how I wanted to simplify things.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied it, man. I did it on literally master's of real estate. Like we were running all kinds of crazy stuff, and I learned it really well. And I could run financial models. I could do all the calculations, and for whatever reason, I was like, I don't see value in this, and I just went a little different direction with it.
Yeah, well, it's similar to
That answer the question.
it's similar to being entrepreneurial in the sense that if you're only viewing it with like one lens, then you're going to miss out on a lot of other things, right? Because a lot of things don't always fit into this one, viewpoint or approach or lens.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not straight cash flow investors. We're not straight value investors. We're not any one which way. We keep things open. We like to buy good deals if it makes sense, regardless of whichever bucket it falls into, right? And so I think that is the difference is, not viewing it one way and keeping all options open. And
yeah, we're blessed to be in a great market. Really, I mean, we're in Austin, Texas, and jobs and people come here, and every market, has a different approach. Elliot was talking about, he got me all inspired, talking about Colleen. He's like, Colleen is the investor's dream. He told somebody, they're like, why? He's like, every strategy exists. You can cash flow, you can burn, you can Airbnb, you can wholesale, you can flip. The deals are easier. And I was sitting there like, that sounds really cool.
mm-hmm.
But we stick to what we're doing here, and we're lucky to have that opportunity to do that and find things and see things. And it's as simple to me as like you have enough lines in the water that you only start reeling when you got the big one.
We've bought in Killeen. We flipped a property in Killeen, and we wholesale a lot in Killeen.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like you and Doreen in a sense. Like I literally don't know anything about Killeen, really, and I kind of want to know about it, but I also don't want to get sidetracked.
You know a lot about New Braunfels?
Yeah, I know a lot about New Braunfels.
Do you?
Yeah, I probably did 6 or 7 commercial deals. I know all the shopping centers and the major intersections and a lot. And I did know that about San Antonio at a time. About like, I mean, dude, I would study this stuff like demographic, heat mass, road count. I would know every retailer and every shopping center, literally their sales volume. Like I studied this.
Yeah. Well, the reason I mentioned that is, we don't buy a lot in New Braunfels. We don't do a lot of marketing in New Braunfels.
Yeah, I did though. I knew that commercial prices in New Braunfels were the same as they were in Austin. That if you wanted to buy a 1 acre tract on the highway, is $30 a square foot, and that was the same as it was in Austin on the prime corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw that the houses were half the price, so it just seemed like an opportunity to me. I was like, so commercial prices are the same, even for retailers, rent per square foot, all that. Commercial prices are the same, and then you want to buy a fourplex in New Braunfels versus a fourplex in Austin, and it's literally half the price. That seems like that's got to change, and that's what I was thinking about when we bought that deal.
And it has. New Braunfels is.
I know
it's going up. I wouldn't say it's.
But that's the thing. I bought deals in Killeen, I guess, with you and Doreen because y'all know it. But like, I'm not trying to go buy in San Antonio.
Why not?
Because I don't know the market.
Yeah, I get it. But we could
figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would be getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
As crazy as like everything we have going on and people think about whatever we do, like there's some strategy on like being pretty clear on like where we stick to.
When it's even just because you knew the market in Austin a year ago doesn't mean you know the market now, right? So
Totally.
it's a daily thing to know the market.
That's what I'm saying.
Market.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know Dripping Springs that well. I don't know. No, guess what? We don't own any real estate there.
Mm-hmm.
Round Rock, yes. I buy anything here. Like You just tell me the square footage and the street name.
Right.
So there's a niche and a way. That's the other metric is, I guess that would come into play is like really understand your market that you're buying, and that's the only way to fully know, am I buying this below what other people would pay? Buying the house on Maple Run for $330. I know for a fact that from contracts that people pay $399 if there wasn't a tenant in place. So, all right, here's a perfect example. We're buying that for $339. What do you think? 40, 50K down payment, hopefully. So we're putting, let's just call it 50, 330 to 400. So there's 70,000 in equity. Say what you want about it's on paper, but we calculate it like that. So we doubled our money, more than doubled our money right there.
Yeah. I went and checked it out.
You did?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
It's good.
Cool house.
Yeah. Cool layout, right?
Yeah.
It's like a little different.
Needs a little bit of work, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool house.
Got that from back to our strategy. I had that listed and the owner kind of freaking out. And I was like, hey man, like, I just want to get this in front of you. I will buy it, but I need to be at this price. And he thought about it for a couple of days and he's like, let's do it. And he's happy.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Raising capital.
We're too interested in the deals.
Understanding the OM.
We got like 5 minutes. Talk about that next time.
Talk about it next time. That's cool.
We'll give you a preview. Raising capital. We're going to go through understanding the offering memorandum, the syndication process, who are the players in the space, what's your due diligence, and joining the weekly call that we have to kind of learn and help build and get a process of building relationships with people and start getting deals in front of them now, because nobody's going to invest when you first start telling them you raise capital. I really think a year or two after, and they've seen you be in the game and be serious, because people get lessons and then they're like, I'm a capital raiser. Like, who's going to want to do that and trust that person, right? Take some time.
I've never heard anybody say that.
No, I have a lot. I used to get like so weird about syndicators. Like, I'm like, these guys are doing like $20 million deals and they've never bought anything. But we'll dive into that next time. And if you guys have any more questions or thoughts, let us know. And we got Brent Campbell coming up here, which I'm excited about. See what's new with him. And I think that deal he's building's like an 8-plex or something.
Where at?
It's on I think it's Georgetown, right here by the train tracks. You seen that new thing being? It's like all wood construction. It's right behind the what venue? And at first it looked like 4 separate units. And then like they're building a second story.
Gotcha.
They're building the 8-plex right there. That's sick.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining today, and I'll see you next.